Welcome back to the Hit Show podcast. I have a very, very, very special guest today in the building, a good friend of mine and CEO of Jet Fuel Sports Gear, Ryan Ivey.
Definitely. Energy to win. Like, it's coming from Cleveland. I travel a lot of spots. I'm dedicated to Ohio regardless. I love the Browns. I love Ohio State.
Yeah.
I love the Monsters. I love Tri-C. That's where I graduated from. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to have the energy to win. That's what Jet Fuel is all about. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to do better, get out here and energize any people who low self-esteem. Like I said, it ain't about low self-esteem. It's about getting up out of bed and do what you got to do. You got to get motivated, y'all. Cleveland, Ohio, let's go.
Saying it's time to get motivated. So if you got a vision, if you got a story to tell, if you got a clothing line, that's right. You got to have the energy to win. You got to be motivated.
You got to get you a business plan. Dude, that's one thing about when I graduated from Tri-C, I didn't have a business plan. They told me that in school, in college. But you got to have a business plan, get you an LLC, and let's get out there and go.
There you go.
Definitely.
There you go. That's Hey, he's right. Because look, a lot of people I talk to have such great visions about, when I say vision, that means the final. So, because see, a lot of people had a vision, but they don't want to put the work into it. And when you say Jet Fuel, means you got to have the energy to win, means you got to put action to that vision.
Definitely. The energy to win, you got to get motivated. You got to get up. Like I said, when you sleep, you just got to keep dreaming, keep forward, pumping, get up and keep moving.
And I want to talk about this. Because not only does Ron have a clothing line,
definitely,
he's also a graphic designer.
Web designer. I graduated from Tri-C in 2004, but I've been doing graphic design for like over 20 or 25 years.
Really?
Definitely, yeah. I've been doing a lot of stuff that I always be behind the scene that people don't even know what I've been doing.
Really?
For like years. Yeah, definitely for like years.
I didn't know that because I thought you just did local and like.
No, I don't do local. I do longevity, man.
Really?
I go out the box.
Really?
I do people in Atlanta. I do people in Tennessee. I do people in St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you nationwide?
I'm nationwide, but I try to be behind the scene. But
okay,
I try not to put my name out there because you got a lot of. I'm not even gonna call people haters no more. I'm call them competition. The reason why I call them competition because instead of they being a competition, if I call you a hater, then it don't drive me. What I'm calling people competition now, because it's competition between 1-on-1 or 1-on-2 or 1-on-3 or whatever you got to do. But I'm gonna call you competition. That's what I do.
Right.
You know what? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You call them whatever you want to do.
Just give me free promotion. So I like to take the time to all the haters that's been hating on the Hit Show podcast.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for all the free promotion because that's what it is.
Definitely. How you gonna hate on somebody you don't even do nothing? You don't even get out of bed. All you just do is talk. When you talk and you don't walk it, and then what it is, it just drives you just a hate in your system. Like I said, most people just hate it because they want to be hater. But I'm trying to call them competition because, like I said, it's on a 1-on-1 thing. I'm not even gonna call you haters no more. It don't bug me. You can't trample over me. You can't design. You can't do nothing. You can't do a website. All you do is talk and run your mouth and do what you got to do.
Like Rick Ross says,
it's a hater.
A real hater is somebody who's in your field. Because if you're not in the field, like you just talking, you don't know nothing about what you're doing.
Definitely.
Even if you can't do what you do, I never felt a reason. And the thing is, I've never been a hater to anybody. Anybody that's doing anything positive, I've always been happy for them.
When you talk about haters, I try to put designs on the hater and hope you take it and run with it. Succeed. You know what I'm saying? Come back and get me. Come back and walk with me. Or whatever. Throw me some money on the side. But I'm not trying to hate on you because I designed something for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with different people today in their mentality. They got a bad mentality. When they wake up on the left side, when they wake up on the right side, they don't wake up on the right side. The podcast is crazy, man. We up here doing our thing. And like I said, we're not even hating on each other because I'm trying to make this guy my partner. Maybe give him an opportunity. Like I said, you can do a business all day, but you ain't got a business plan. But we can fill you a business plan out and we can get you an LLC for cheap. The problem with people today, they lacking
They don't want to work together.
What I'm saying? They don't want to work together. I work with anybody. I don't care you the last person on earth, but I work with you. Definitely, man. I'm not a hater. Work with me or whatever. I won't even take no money. I really don't need money. I'm just blessed by God.
Yeah, because at this time, I want to thank Ryan Ivy, the CEO of Jet Fuel Sports Gear, because he is also now one of my sponsors.
Definitely. I'm definitely your sponsor, man. Like I said, I'm definitely anybody's sponsor. I don't care what you do. We got a sponsor. A lot of people behind the scene. People don't realize that. Really? I do. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But I don't mention my name. If I mention my name, then, everybody got their hands out for something. Don't even mean nothing.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's get into the whole Jet Fuel Sports Gear thing. I want to ask, because I know you've been doing graphic designs for years.
Definitely.
So since you were designing other people's stuff before you started, is that what drove you to start your own clothing line? Because you were already doing the graphic design, you said 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago, 2004, I graduated from Tri-C. Tri-C was the best thing, but then I came back to Cleveland. I always did graphic design behind the scene, but I never mentioned my name. Oh. I did movies. We did movies like Spoon, the movie. I did behind the scene like 40 Watts Entertainment. They was like a good hip hop scene in Cleveland. Okay. But I did like Spoon, the movie. I got a lot of credits. If you look at some of the movies on credit, I'm behind the scene, but I never mentioned my name. Really? But now when I mention Ron Ivy, then it's come with a lot of headaches. And I used to be behind the scene just signing stuff for people and never mention my name up there. Really? Yeah, definitely. I hate it for nobody. I'd rather help them and make them successful than me. Long they coming back and get me and do what they got to do or throw me something on the side.
That makes sense. But let me ask you, so since you were doing the graphic design for 25 years, is that what made you say, well, I'm designing other people's stuff, why don't I design my own?
You know what? I'd rather put people in front of me. Right. The reason why I put people in front of me back then, they had a lot of energy. I can't just jump in front of everybody and, put myself in front of people. When they come to me as person or a sponsor, or whatever they do. So I can't just jump in front of them designed by Ron Ivy and all that. I just put my design out and then trying to help people. And just hoping you get better, hoping you have more energy than me. At the time, I just do a lot of graphic design on the side, but nobody didn't know I was always in the back scene doing a lot of stuff. Okay. I love Cleveland, what I'm saying, but I'm down with Cleveland regardless. I love Tennessee to my advance because my family down in Tennessee. Yes. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, but I sponsor MTSU. I used to go to MTSU for 3 years as a mechanical engineer. Really? Yeah, but I never did graduate, but I knew a lot of people who came out of MTSU as a football player. Kelly Hawkins, he played backup for Bernie Kosar back in the days. I went to school for FDR. I went to school at FDR, and so FDR was mostly considered. I did a logo for FDR. Okay. The Panther with the graduation. Yeah. Helmet and everything back in the days. That's probably like 84, 86. Something like that. I went to Lincoln West High School. Bone Thugs and Harmony. I know a lot of people. What I'm saying? They went to school with me. So, I'm blessed that I'm doing what I'm doing as a graphic designer. But I'm blessed that most people doing what they do. Like Bone Thugs and Harmony, they're doing a lot of good stuff for Cleveland. Everybody, got a lot of haters out there, but, I like to mention them because I went to school with them. They doing whatever they trying to do for Cleveland. You don't have to offer Cleveland a lot, but you can give something returning back. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely grew up on Bone, and I still love something on Facebook.
The greatest of all time.
I don't know if you've seen it, but Crazy, I think, has a nonprofit organization here in Cleveland.
Him and Wish does.
Okay, I didn't know which was part of it. But shout out to them, man, because Bone is one of the, music celebrities that you see from the music industry that actually really love their city and they give back. And they also had that street named after him too. So shout out to Bone, man. We love Bone. I'm gonna get y'all on the show one day, hopefully. But definitely, I think that's a good thing because a lot of people when they blow up, don't care about their city.
No, they don't. But I'm glad they did that. That's like positive. That's like good energy for them. And they got a good name. They the GOATs of Cleveland. You got a lot of good people come around from Cleveland. You know, like Levert. You got like 71 North. You know, you got a lot of people who back in the days, 40 Watts Entertainment, you got a lot of people who they behind the scenes, but they did a lot of work for it, like Payday, all of them. You got Joe Levert. You got a lot of people who sponsor Cleveland, Ohio. You got a lot of talent in Cleveland regardless. Like I said, you just don't stop at Cleveland. You just got to go travel.
And the thing is, when we were talking about hating on other people.
Definitely.
Till this day, when I go to the gas station, if I see somebody selling CDs because they need some money, even though I might not listen to it, because, we're far past the CD, just because I know somebody out there, they have the energy to win. I support them. Here's $5. Let me take it. Or here's just a donation. Because they have the energy to win. And when you see somebody doing something positive like that, you help them.
Definitely.
If they have the energy to win. Because a lot of people, like we said, just sit there and talk on social media. I want to do this. I know people on my social media say they want to do this for the last 3 or 4 years. They ain't do nothing but talk about it.
Do nothing.
But they don't put the energy and the action into it like this.
Definitely.
We talked about doing a show for 2 years. I didn't want to do a show at first. Because I was like,
ain't we?
I don't know how to talk. Energy.
The best to try or not to try at all.
Exactly.
Some people don't even want to do nothing. They want to get out of bed and do the same thing over. They keep having that pattern. Something you gonna have to break the pattern. That's the problem with people today. Every year it's the same thing. You're doing the same thing. You saying on the porch, you're not doing nothing. You talking, but you're not walking. That's the problem with people today. But I'm glad that you doing your thing.
Thank you.
I'm doing my thing. And, like I said, if they hate, go ahead and hate.
Crazy. I know a lot of people that do different things, like artists that do music, that paint.
Definitely.
And I talk to them behind the scenes, one-on-one. A lot of them I've talked. And you know what keeps them from growing? Oh, I don't want to work with this person or that person. Do you think Burger King and McDonald's actually hate each other?
You know what?
No, I guarantee. Exactly. I guarantee they be in meetings together. Taco Bell.
Definitely.
I guarantee you they be in the same meetings together figuring out how we all going to make money.
Definitely.
And people don't think like that. You think they like each other? No.
No, they don't like it. It's about money.
The people that are artists and musicians and these podcasters and rappers, if you don't have like an actual issue with this person, network with them.
They probably sitting on the island, chilling, kicking back. You drinking wine and chilling. You know what I'm saying? They buy their money. Right. But if everybody come together, then we can be more successful. Exactly. I always said 2 heads is better than one. So 2 heads is better than one, then we can focus on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can go ahead and network and we can go ahead and sell. You artists, I always say it's starving artists, but you got all these platforms today like Instagram, Facebook, and all them. We can't be starving no more. We got to get paid. That's the problem with people today. They want to starve. I don't want to starve. I want to make money.
Yeah, I've told I don't know how many artists come on the show. We'll just chop it up.
Definitely,
just talk about your music. Now, if you have a clothing line as an artist, a lot of artists have their own clothing line, or maybe they have a side business. Maybe they sell cars. Just talk about everything.
What do they sell? They sell for profit.
So
whatever, if you got your own clothing line, your own anything, I'm not going to say a black-owned business. I'm just going to say every business is the same. But we can come to the table and we can put everything down a plan to make money.
Exactly.
So, like I said, you need a website. Johnny over here, he got a website. I don't care if he's black, white, Asian, Jew, or whoever. Just it's done. It's getting done, and it's profitable for you to make money.
And you know what? That's a great thing to say because it's the thing. I've heard artists and people that are trying to come up say, no, I'm not putting no money in his pocket. Why not? Because you put money in his pocket for your brand to grow. Definitely. It ain't about what's going in his pocket. It's about your brand.
Definitely.
And people really think like that. I'm like, are you serious?
I don't understand why people do that. It's benefit you.
Exactly.
If it ain't benefit you, then don't put no money in people's pockets.
Exactly.
But it benefit you. the guy, he's trying to get you, like this podcast, he's trying to get you 30,000 people. So the money that you charge is really simple. Yeah. Pennies over dollars. People don't realize that.
People don't realize I don't charge guests to come on the show. I pay for the studio time, and it's an open forum for people to speak their mind, and they still don't come. I say, okay, that's on you.
Yeah.
I don't charge nobody anything.
Yeah.
Because my brand is going to grow if I charge you or if I don't.
Everybody's brand going to grow. You know, you're going to be successful regardless. It all depends how you hustle in front of the scene or behind the scene.
Exactly.
You know.
But I want to ask you this, like, as far as your graphic design, because I see your clothes here. When, like, say somebody comes to you and they say, I want you to design something for me. Now, do they already have to have the sketch, or do you make the sketch and design it?
They're going to have to already have the sketch, because if I draw it out and lay it out, the first thing they're going to be saying, I don't like it.
Oh.
So you can get on Facebook, Ron Ivy. I'm in a brown hoodie or whatever I'm doing. You can get on Facebook, Ron Ivy, Facebook, and you'll see all my designs. So I am cold. Okay. You know, I've been blessed by God. You know, my mother, she always was an artist behind the scene. My mother, back in the days, my whole family is artists. Okay. You know, I don't care you're an artist, being a rap artist, you can be a graphic designer, you can be a talker, you can be a podcast. I always say everybody's just an artist within God here gave them the gift. Yeah. Michelangelo, Raphael, and all of them. Even though you don't have the same style, you have a different style. Your mind is better than the mind who draw. I may give that person a better understanding is how the way he do stuff. You know, like Michelangelo, Raphael, anybody.
So you bring their sketch to life.
I bring their sketch to life, and not only that, whatever you think about, you know, it may be good, it may be bad. We can just talk and sit down about it.
Okay. Two heads better than one.
Two heads better than one. I always said, you know, one head ain't gonna go nowhere.
See, and people, I don't understand.
The creativity will.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I don't see how people don't understand that. Like, you have to work together. Like, okay, music artists.
Definitely.
Artists can't make a song without a producer.
A producer
can't make a song without the artist.
The mixer or recording, the person, whoever.
Right.
You know, it takes 4 or 5 heads.
Exactly.
And then everybody get paid, you know, and call it a day.
And that brings it to life.
Definitely.
You know, just like people that sketch. Definitely. Sometimes they need a model to stand there. So let me ask you, with clothing line and graphics, now, do you have a website where people can go on there? Say if I wanted you to design our hit show podcast and I already had the clothes, can I go to your website and, you know, request you to design my clothes? Or
definitely. You can go on my website. You go on Facebook, facebook.com, Ron Ivy, or you can go to www.jetfuelsportsgear.com and you can see some of my designs. Cool. I got a lot of designs, you know, but I'm working with a company that's positive. Okay. And if you want to do your own website, then we can do that website, or I can build a website for you.
Website building for somebody who wants their own website.
Definitely.
Okay.
I can't be at 10 spots at one time, but I'm trying to make money.
Yeah, so is that very affordable for somebody that's starting out, for somebody like you to build them a website?
It's affordable, $3.99. Okay. It's not bad, 5-page, $3.99. I'm dedicated to what you trying to do.
Gotcha.
You know, but we could talk about it and we could see, you know, the ins and out of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to sell, or how many products you're trying to sell. The more product you're trying to sell, the more money. But the best thing to do is just take it slow. Okay. If you're trying to do a clothing line, you need to do one design or 1 to 3 designs. You just can't have 50 different designs on a website and trying to, it's too much headed. Trust me.
So you got to get people sold on like 1 to 3.
1 to 3
and then it'll be easier to get to then 4 to 6.
Definitely. When you start making money, then you start adding more.
Really?
Definitely. Because like I said, you can go to a screen printer all day and start printing your stuff. You start doing stuff individual. So when you start doing stuff individual, then you got a lot of overheads. So you need to be careful. If you in the city and you're trying to do your own clothing line, you may need to do 1 or 2 or 3 different designs or different ideas about your clothing line. The more designs you have, more you're gonna have. You need to do some research on like YouTube, Crocodile, Fubu, Fat Farm. You need to do the research on before you try to do a clothing line. That's just like any rapper. Before you do a research on trying to be the best rapper.
Every rapper now got their own clothes.
Definitely.
They're smart though.
Yeah, they smart because they know they're not making no money off the
music.
Music, so they make money off the clothes. So they pocketing their money.
Yeah, and if they stop rapping, they still got the clothes and merchandise.
Still got the clothing line, 50 Cent, GU, still selling.
Yeah.
Like I said, they got Fubu. Everybody think Fubu is dead, but you got to realize they still selling Walmart. And they do sell in Walmart.
Probably in New York is still big.
New York or like overseas or something. They still doing stuff overseas. Cleveland just don't see nothing because you're not traveling.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did. Fubu still selling. Fubu made like $1 billion.
I didn't know with clothing lines, when people start clothing lines, you're supposed to limit the designs to see if it's going to work or not. So you don't make a whole bunch.
You don't make a whole bunch of it, but if you do 12 t-shirts, times 15, add it up. You can go down to the inner city. Hey, can you buy this t-shirt for me? Okay, it's 12. Okay, so you pocket the money and then you keep going.
Okay.
You just can't just stop there. You just got to keep going. You got all the you got platforms. You got all the platforms. So once you got all the platforms, you can sell all day.
Yeah.
That's a problem. You can't be a starving artist when you making money now. This 2025.
So,
you need to get out there.
Do you think the people that come to you that want their website built, do you think they should have the social media going first to get a buzz before they build the website, or do you think they should do the website?
Not really. The best thing to do is do your website.
Okay.
Because social media, it comes with the website. Okay. People don't realize that you're going to have, you're going to have an engine search. Okay, so the engine search, you might have 30,000 people on that engine search and you don't even realize. It might hit 30,000 people. I got 5,000 people on my Facebook. Out of 5,000 people, who you think going to hit? 1,000, 500. But they know enough about the website, right? I got 5,000 people. So nobody said 5,000 people on my Facebook page. It's 5,000 people on my Facebook page regardless. But how many people going to really look at their phones every day, 8 o'clock in the morning? Probably 500 out of 5,000.
Yeah, because those 500 people are getting up at 7, getting ready for work, and they want something to look at for work before they go into work.
Every day I try to get up. I'll be tired. I'll be burned out. I got 9 to 5. Right. I'm still burned out, but I still do what I got to do.
That makes sense.
You just gotta have it like TikTok. I'm not into TikTok, but I wish I was. The young kids today, I wish I could have that platform. I may go ahead and do it, but I'm just into Facebook. But that's what most of the people who I did is 5,000 people can't do so much in a day.
I'll tell you,
I'm burned out sometimes.
I understand. I'll tell you what would be good for you for TikTok. Some maybe your nieces and nephews.
Yeah, definitely.
That are from 8 to 12.
They still doing it.
Jet Fuel Sports Gear. Yeah. Right on TikTok.
My niece, she's a volleyball person at a school, and she does it all the time. I pay her to do it. I don't mind paying people to do something as long as they get it done.
See, that's my mentality. I used to have a friend say, why you always trying to pay somebody? Hey, because when you want something done right, you got to pay. That too, and it builds relationships. Listen, people, if you're looking to go into business,
definitely,
okay, the first few years you're not going to get paid. Trust me, I've spent thousands on equipment, studio time, mic, marketing, recording. You have to spend money for people to notice you. You have to spend money to build relationships. If you don't spend money and you looking to go in business, it's going to fail.
Like I said, you got to spend money. You can't be at 12 places at one time. Definitely.
I don't mind paying somebody to do something, and I know they're going to do it now. That way, I got time to go do something else and relax.
As long as they close the deal, I don't mind paying people. Who, they probably better business people than me.
Speaking of paying people, all my artists out there, if you own a business, you got a product, service. If you need any kind of promotion, please hit me up on social media, Hit Show Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can email me also, hitshowpodcast@gmail.com, and put in the subject service, products, If you want to sponsor the show, like my man Ron Ivy, you can be a sponsor. You can come on the show, or there's some other stuff I can do for you online. All right?
Definitely.
And shout out to my other sponsor, Open Fridge Gourmet, CEO Chef Derek Cooper out of Denver, Colorado. Please go to his website, openfridgegourmet.com, and follow him on all his social media. He is an excellent chef. I went to college with him. The man can cook amazingly. And please check him out on social media. Get back to the show. It's crazy how you said people like FUBU, right, are still doing business in other places. See, people think, and this is a big part of business, I want to say, people think when they don't see you anymore, you fell off. We see a lot of old rappers and musicians, they say they fell off, but they're doing business in other countries and other places and still making money.
Definitely. They're doing a lot of business overseas. Inspired me. I don't know, God just taking me through the path to whatever. I met Russell Simmons back in the days.
Okay.
In 92. You know, him and Kamar.
Okay.
Back in the days. You know, I met Puff Daddy. I met a lot of artists. I met Jerry Hiller. I met Jerry Hiller. You know, it might sound a bad thing, but Jerry Hiller, he was a decent people. He was like doing a book down at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah, back in the days. You know, I met a lot of people that people don't even know who I met, but they still inspire me.
Was he arrogant or mean? He seemed
just do what he do.
He seemed kind of mean.
People don't realize when he first got married or something like that.
That was like early 90s?
Early 92, something like that. Yeah, I met him in, I think, Hickory Hollow.
But they were big in the Kimora was big because she was a model, but they were big in the fashion world too.
They didn't put a Baby Fat out at the time, but they made, I think Redman just came out and everything. And he signed an autograph. I still got the autograph today. A picture of autograph today. He was like, God bless. He always said, God bless.
Yeah.
People don't know Russell Simmons. He does stutter. You know, on the back end. Yeah, he always stutter. But he said, God bless. You know, that motivated me. You know, that motivated me to jump to the next platform, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it may not come today, but it's gonna come down the line if you see it.
I think that's when people end up quitting. They feel like when they start something, it's supposed to be an instant explosion.
You can't quit because if you quit, then you know it wasn't meant to be. But like I said, I love when people hate on me.
Yeah.
The reason why I hate to say I hate to say the haters out there, but it's just competition.
Yeah.
I hate it when you hate on me because when you make me mad, I design more better. Yeah. People don't realize that.
Just
you know what I'm saying? It just motivates me. Because if you make me mad, I design more better. I just sit to the table, boom, it's done deal. You know, it's a gift that I always had.
And I feel like when you going in the right direction with your business,
definitely,
it looks like just like with the podcast. I'm putting up my podcast and I'm looking at the clips and the views and I'm like, my views ain't moving for like a couple years. I'm like, no. But then I'm running to people at the gas station and they said, man, I love the show. I'm like, I don't see it. Other people see it. And I'm like, where's these views coming from?
You know what? That means you got a lot of great followers.
Yeah.
You know, even though the ratings is not high sometimes, you got to realize somebody see you. You know, like I said, you can't just focus on Ohio. You got to focus on St. Louis. You got to focus on Tennessee. You got to focus on ATL. That's when the big people who got time on their hand. You know, you got to focus on Georgia. You got to focus on ATL is Georgia. So
pretty much.
Yeah. You know, I'm just backtracking myself, but you got to find people who like your sponsor. You know, like I said, you just got to promote and you just got to put it out a lot of time.
And then one of my videos ended up going viral out of nowhere. I did a video in my car about a women's only club. Till this day, I still get comments and I'm like, y'all are still mad. This video came out 2 years ago. Y'all still commenting and in my inbox about this 2-year-old video. But it got up under people's skin so much because you know me, I'm straight direct forward. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, definitely.
It got under their skin so bad, I still get messages. But I'm glad they got almost 300,000 views on TikTok organically. Okay. And I'm going to keep getting under their skin because that's what works.
And that's wrong, man. Get ratings all day. You know, like I said, I hope people be haters because, you know what I'm saying? I always call them competition.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't think they got no competition against me when I do things.
I wouldn't even call them haters. I would just call it negativity.
Negativity.
Because they're not even in your field to hate.
Yeah, but you got to realize they're on your well pipe they're on your website for something.
Yeah.
You got to realize.
Or they'll go on somebody else's page and look.
Yeah, they look at it. Oh man, he garbage.
Yeah.
I hope I be garbage.
Yeah.
Because why you looking at me if I'm not garbage?
Yeah. Tell the people where to find you at.
Hey, you can call me at the house, 216-644-6291. If you want to do graphics, don't just call me just to harass me. You know what I'm saying? 216-644-6291. Or you can go up to my Facebook page, Ron Ivy. I'm in a brown hoodie. You know, I'm doing my thing. I do websites, graphic design. I've been doing your business plan if the money right for a basic business plan. But I'm trying to get you, trying to tell you I'm trying to guide you where you need to go. You know, I've been out there. I've been doing my thing, but you know, I'm blessed.
And for everybody that's been watching this show, you know where to follow us. We have a new YouTube channel, Hit Show Podcast, Instagram, Hit Show Podcast, and my promotional page, James and the Gang, TikTok, Hit Show Podcast. And what I want everybody to do, not only follow me on all those channels, do me a favor, send me a text message and tell me about the show, what you like and what you don't like. My cell phone number is area code 440-269-9062. Text me and leave me a survey about this podcast. And if you would like to come on, you can text that number as well. All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.